It's been a wild 36 hours in the crypto market. We started off today on a bit of a red note again. I'm not sure about you guys. I actually woke up in the middle of the night, saw ADA come down to about 76 cents or so, and I've seen it get a nice little bounce from there. In fact, right now we're sitting at about 79 cents, just prepping for US money to hit the markets. And it's a question of what is it going to be? Is it going to be more of what we saw yesterday, or is it going to be something a little bit different? We need to talk about actually how some of these leverage levels have changed. We need to discuss how retail is getting washed out, look at a couple things in the charts, and talk about this re-upping from the midnight Twitter page. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button. That bell is free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So yes, this drop overnight, getting down to almost 76 cents, actually connected ADA right to its 20-day moving average. So yeah, it was actually a good technical retest, good technical bounce there. And what we really need to do is hold this today. Need to probably close today's daily candle above that 78-cent level. That's going to be a pretty big deal. Something I did want to point out here is, one, we are still actually very close to the 100-day crossing the 200-day moving average. We are still crossed on the bullish side from the 50 over the 200 as well. Saw a lot of people joking about that yesterday. And what I found kind of interesting is if you look back on almost every single one of these golden cross days that we've had some sort of selling take place. Sometimes it's ended up in ugly red days like we saw yesterday. Sometimes it's ended up flipping green, but selling nonetheless. It's almost like they are trying to prevent it from happening, but don't know that they can't prevent it from happening once it started. So the thing I want to remind people here as well is almost every single one of our golden crosses has led to good performance in the charts. Actually, really the only one that didn't here was back in May. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at right now. In fact, we're looking at, I just want to show you guys a couple things here. We did get almost a full stochastic RSI reset in terms of ADA. I talked about that in a video yesterday. In fact, if we look at the 12-hour chart, we did get a full reset. So that's a pretty big deal. So we could be talking about some momentum shift very shortly here. If we look actually at the hourly chart, you guys can see actually almost a bit of an inverse head and shoulders building here on the charts. So we could obviously come up to about 83 cents, which is coincidentally where leverage kind of sits at. If you guys take a look at the liquidation heat map, I'm losing my train of thought, guys. If we look at the liquidation heat map, right at up about 82.50 or so is where the thick leverage starts for ADA. You can see us come up. If we don't get the push through, we could come down, retest. And again, that's where we could build this right shoulder out before potentially reversing this and extending back to the upside. And I find it kind of interesting because we've seen a lot of people flip bearish once again in the crypto market. I see a lot of people talking crap, saying, oh, it's over, we're going back down. Guys, even when ADA had its run up to $1.32, do you know how many significant retracements we had along the way? Several of them. How many of them were 15% or so? A couple of them. Guys, right now, even at the extent of this dip here, it was only about 15%. That's why I don't know why people are freaking out and getting bearish. It's really not that big of a deal. Didn't have the largest liquidation event ever. Just a little bit of a heads up on that, right? Only $956 million over the last 24 hours, $813 million in longs. And guys, we continue to see the shorts just try to fill in. They're trying to push really, really hard, too hard. 11% in balance in terms of ADA. Guys, look at all this short leverage. You could very easily see if we get a wave of buying today in the crypto market, you could see ADA shoot easily back up to at least 85 cents, if not up to 90. I'm not guaranteeing or saying that's going to happen for sure. That's obviously a full correction off of what we just did. And sometimes we do that. In fact, just taking a look at some of these candles back here, I mean, it didn't take very long for these dips to get completely enveloped. Just saying, okay? So I wouldn't necessarily fall for the bearishness in the market because, again, we're still technically sound in the charts. Maybe that changes as the day goes on. And I wouldn't say that, some people are saying, oh, yeah, the PTSD is kicking back in. Yes and no. I mean, we're not getting these massive waves of selling. Most people have major conviction in the market right now, which is a great sign. So I'm not ready to say that that's the case quite yet. We'll obviously see what today brings as we progress. But something I have to say here is institutional money is just robbing retail blind right now. And it's not much you can do about that. $332 million worth of Ethereum bought over the last 24 hours. No wavering in what they're doing at all. So we are accelerating into this thing, guys. They are hitting it with a full head of steam here. On the BTC side, they are showing a little bit of, we'll call it softness. All right. $85 million in unloading over the last 24 hours. BlackRock actually buying back into this. So this is kind of a big deal because I believe last 2 days, it's kind of hard to see behind my box here. Let me see if I can cover this up. Last 2 days were actually flat in terms of BlackRock. So they're actually back into buying on this. So again, I would not be surprised by a wave of buying in the market today. Whether that's on the BTC side, whether it's on the Ethereum side, whether that's across the crypto market. But it seems like that's what we're kind of prepping for. This was another little shakeout that we've dealt with many times before. Some profit taking, some leverage liquidations. It's nothing new, okay? So we're still seeing massive volume in the market, $224 billion, or $225 billion over the last 24 hours. We got everything to just kind of cool down just a little bit. And that's usually where you trap a bunch of people. Now, that being said, I did want to point to actually something on the midnight page. So they actually re-upped the allocation breakdown here, or the claiming breakdown on their page as well. So it said the allocation of night token supply will follow the 3 claim phases below. So this was just posted actually 36 minutes ago from filming this video. Does this mean that we're actually getting pretty close to the Glacier airdrop? It's possible. All right. They haven't announced an official date yet, and we might get just kind of a brief warning right before it takes place. So something to watch for there as well. I will say I've noticed a bunch of enterprises that have actually been adding BTC over the last 24 hours. They've been adding Ethereum over the last 24 hours. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, guys. It sucks. Like I said many times, I hate seeing red. I understand that there are important days and reasons why it needs to take place. For the exact reasons I mentioned. You got to catch a bunch of people. You got to sideline a bunch of people and just make them chase once again. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. But have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.